Hi everyone, today we are going over the elements of earth, air, fire, and water in regards to the quote-unquote aliens, which are not aliens. Okay, and we're going to be using Elena Danan's book as examples for that. So this is what we'll be going over today, so please stay tuned and stick with me, okay? Thank you. Bye!
Let's see, Anshar.
Just answer my question.
It's in my franchise Bible.
It
is my creation. I'm a content creator.
Understand?
Whether I have my life stories mixed with some drama, which I've always made public as well, and in this book.
Do you remember my question? Do you have my question in mind?
Yeah.
Okay, what is my question?
The Anshar are a creation.
Not my question. My question is, can anyone else communicate to Anshar?
To something I created?
Other than through you?
That's something I created. That's something I trademarked? That's part of my trademark? No.
Okay, so the only people who can communicate to Anshar are you, correct?
It's a part of my meditative process.
Okay.
If someone wants to create up a meditative process where they're talking to the Anshar, there's nothing that stops that, and they will believe it, and it will allow them in their higher self to connect. It's a tool.
So someone else could connect to Anshar as well and have an experience with Anshar as well.
If they imagined it so, but if they decided to go out and do a television show about it or write a book about it, they might have a problem.
But can't they have their own? They couldn't write about their own experience?
I'm answering your question.
Is it real or not?
It is not physically real. It was created by me as a part of my meditative practices.
Do you communicate with something named Anshar?
In my meditations, I use the Anshar as like an avatar to communicate and gather different information.
Avatar being real and independent from you, or part of you?
It would be it depends on how you view a person, their higher self.
Is Anshar independent from you, or is it part of you?
It's my creation. It's part of my higher self.
So no one.
Very, very close.
Did you ever go to space?
Did I ever go to space?
Yes.
In my physical body?
Yes.
I don't believe so, but I travel astrally, and I travel out to outer space, and
Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to try to do this with as much positivity as possible. Unfortunately, the message is rather serious, okay? Now, before I lose anyone, we're going to get right into it. So for those of you who have studied aliens or extraterrestrials, there are a few things that we have heard about them. Number one, they're going into the volcanoes. They're going into the oceans. They come from underground. Okay. All right. Well, if you don't know, we have a bunch of different things going on. In all of my studies, there has never been any mention of aliens or extraterrestrials, like off-worlders from other planets. Okay? Even in this book here, now I know you're going to say, oh, well, they didn't know. It was the 1900s. No. Even the Council of Nine is in this book. The spiritual hierarchies. Yes, I found the Council of Nine in this book. So everything that I'm about to show you today is unfortunately what the people have done. They have gotten into the esoterics. They have educated themselves with books like this. And then what they have done is they've taken information from stuff like this, these spiritual beings in the spiritual hierarchy, and like Elena Danaan, created a book like this, okay? But it has nothing to do with aliens. Aliens aren't a thing. They are only alien to us because we don't know who they are anymore. I know. For the longest time, I needed it to be aliens too, because my life experience with humans was so bad, I thought there has to be something else, somewhere else. So let me just break something down to you. We're dealing with elements of earth, air, fire, and water. I'm going to start with the beings of earth and fire first because they are closely related, and then we're going to do air and water. Now, the realm is separated into 4, okay? So we have up here, we have air, obviously, where we would have mountains. Yes? The mountain. Now, I forgot. Yes. And I believe that the symbol for air is the up triangle with a line in the center, like this. So when you're seeing beings that have a triangle on their uniform, they are signifying whether they are of air element, or now we're going to, it goes water. Okay. Now for fire and water, water is upside down triangle like this. Okay. And it has no line like this. And okay, now we go, because earth and then fire. Okay, so then we have earth here, all right? And earth is an, crap, now I forget. Is it a downward triangle? I think it's a downward triangle with the line in it. And that's air, and then fire, okay? Can you still see me? Yeah. Fire is an upright triangle, like this. Okay? So we have these triangles. I'm going to show you in a second part of this video many accounts of people saying that they see these beings, okay, with these triangle symbols. This indicating basically their tribe, whether they're fire, earth, water, or air. Okay? Now, when we're dealing with this, we're dealing with interdimensionals. These are the spaces between spaces. Now, when you hear extra dimensional, right? So we have the third dimension. Extra dimensionals are those that live in the other dimensions other than the third. Okay? So a lot of this, again, has to do with the chakras. And according to them, the lowest ones are yellow, orange, and red. Okay? So with earth and fire, we have the beings underground, and then we have the magma that flows, right? This would be the connection. This is why we have the grays and we have the reptilians. Now, so the UFOs are hiding in the water, underground, okay? We've been seeing them in volcanoes, all right? So that's the fire element. Now, I need to pause for a second. Okay, I've taken a lot of notes from this book. It says, the civilizations of Greece, Rome, Egypt, China, and India, these were all the ancient civilizations with the weird carvings on the walls, yeah? They're not aliens. Believed implicitly in satyrs, sprites, and goblins. These weren't stupid people. This is the unseen realm. They peopled the sea with mermaids, the rivers and fountains with nymphs, the air with fairies, the fire with the lares and pennants, and the earth with fauns, dryads, and hymdriads. The nature spirits were held in the highest esteem, and proprietary offerings were made to them. Occasionally, as a result of atmospheric conditions or the peculiar sensitiveness of the devotee, the person working with them, they become visible. Many authors wrote concerning them in terms which signify that they had actually beheld these inhabitants of nature's finer realms. See, the thing is knowledge is power, right? So this is how people gain power over you with their alien stories and their alien boyfriend and girlfriends. I'm so sorry, because when you really learn it, it does hurt. But then you get through it and you're able to move past it and ascend above it, to get out of it, so you can really get to where you want to be. Because you're never, ever going to even have experience close to what you think is aliens, it's always going to be some kind of trap with some type of being. If you don't know these things, you're going to be taken advantage of. They know this. Elena Danaan knows this. Corey Goode knows this. David Wilcock knows this. And this is what they've been doing. They distract you with their bullshit to keep you away from this, to keep you from really figuring out what it is. A number of authorities are of the opinion that many of the gods worshipped by the pagans were elementals. For some of these invisibles were believed to be of commanding stature and magnificent deportment. The idea once held that these invisible elements surrounding the inner penetrating earth, it's the dimensions that we cannot see, were peopled with living, intelligent beings. They may seem ridiculed to the prosaic mind of today. This doctrine, however, has found favor with some of the greatest intellects of the world. So, the sylphs of Photius Cardin, the philosopher of Milan, the salamander seen by Benvenuto Cellini, the Pan of St. Anthony, and Le Petit Homme Rouge, the little red man or gnome of Napoleon Bonaparte, have found their place in the pages of history. Socrates, all kinds of people. Okay? Now, we've seen this. Gnomes build their homes of substances resembling their alabaster, marble, and cement. So when you see those small houses, they say look like domes or little burial things. No, they're not. They're the homes of these beings that used to live among us. The spiritual realm and the physical realm waxes and wanes. So it's together for a while and then it separates. Okay. Gnomes were assigned to the north. So the gnomes, the beings of earth, are the Greys. The place recognized by the ancients as the source of darkness and death. Because many of them dwelt in darkness of caves and the gloom of forests, their temperament was said to be melancholy, gloomy, and despotent. But that is not meant that they themselves are of such disposition, but rather they have special control over elements of that consistency. So this is why they are so slow. Even they move slow during spiritual surgery, because they are beings of the earth, and they take on the elements of such. Sometimes they can be very stubborn and hard to move. This is why, because they're beings of earth. So I'm going to give you an example here. I keep seeing him in my head. Okay, so we have something like this. Again, this is a symbol of fire. And the Sikaar are reptilians. This is a reptilian type of thing. Fire. Okay? That wasn't it. There's a fella I need to show you. I marked all the pages the other day that I needed for each earth, air, fire, and water. Again, here, look on his belt. Look on his belt. Upright triangle. Fire. Salamander. Element of fire. Oh, I showed you this before. This is a nature spirit, like a fairy, like Fern Gully, Earth. They're not aliens. I really hoped that they were too, so that I'd have somebody else, because humans did not like me. I haven't been taken over by the Asura. This is why I'm able to keep my voice, my communication, and heart center. Where are you? Ah, here we are. Oh, look. Look. Gray, upside down triangle, line in it. Earth, upside down triangle, line in it. These are not aliens, honeys. These are interdimensionals. They don't come from other planets, they're from here. They're the spiritual beings that work with nature. And I think because we have poisoned nature, they're poisoned too. So our environment has affected them, and they probably don't like us very much because of it. You have to understand that. We poisoned the air. We poisoned the water. We've harmed the animals. We've harmed nature in such a way where they're taking out vengeance on us through trickery and deception. They enjoy this. I know. But these are technically lower dimensionals. Not just the Greys. All these beings doing this. Especially the ones that want human boyfriend and girlfriends. That's a huge red flag. So that is a perfect example. That's Earth. It doesn't matter if there's 3 lines. She wants to confuse you. There's no aliens. She doesn't know any aliens. Okay? So we did that triangle. Again, I've shown you before. Let me just read you what it says. Nomides, so they look in which they live. Okay, it even says here, the Greeks, on the other hand, apparently believed that many nature spirits had material constitutions capable of functioning in the physical world. They have bodies. It says in here that they've combined spirit and matter so they can become physical for a short time, especially if they need to mate with a human, like in the case of George Corey. Peter Corey. Why I always say that, I don't know. Peter Corey. I always call him George. I don't know why. Peter Corey. Okay? It says here, often the recollection of a dream is so vivid that upon awakening, a person actually believes that he passed through a physical experience, like with abductions. You're not. This is all spirit body. This does not happen to you in your physical body. So when Elena Danaan says that she was taken and sexually assaulted in some way where she had blood all over her vajayjay, this isn't true. None of this is real. This did not happen to her in her physical body. This isn't real. And if she does have some type of reptilian DNA in her, which they clearly showed that, then they were probably doing some type of spiritual surgery on her, and it didn't work because she still went array and told everybody that it's not spiritual beings. She's a shaman, for goodness sake. Okay? So the ultra-dimensionals are the ancient humans. Extra-dimensionals are the ones that live outside of our dimension. I know it's a lot. It is. So the salamanders were the strongest and most powerful of the elementals, and this is why they're taken on as the nasty reptilians. The Fire Nation attacked. This is what it's about. I don't know why, but it says they exerted special influence over all beings of fiery or temperament. So if you're a fire sign, if you have a lot of fire in your chart, if you're a passionate person, you're going to have some challenges with this. But what I found is that they will pick on you a little bit to make you stronger. You know, it's complicated. And a lot of people don't like the lessons that they give, but they're important. You know? So, let's see. Where am I going with this? Okay. So that's why the salamanders are the reptilians, and they are of fire, like we just showed with the triangles. Yes? There's a lot in this book, and I've read this entire chapter to you before, but I'm trying to break it down as best as I can. So when we have the beings of the sea, they take on traits, okay, these elementals are going to look like an ocean creature. There's a bunch of examples in here of this. There's one that 100% looks like a water creature. And he's got like little twirly things on the side of his head. Hold on, I will find him. Right here, with those little octopus things, that's a being of water. This is why she's all about Neptune and everything now, Elena. Because clearly she's of air and water, intellect and emotion. See, it's not only the elements on the outside of fire, but what do the reptilians do the most? Why are they so grapey? Well, the negative ones, they do deal with the sexual energies because they have to do with the orange and red chakras. What does the orange and red chakras have to deal with? Well, your sensuality and your survival. So your Claustrum's oil, sexual, creative energy, which they don't want to blossom, so they can always stay in control. I don't know what their problem is. And I don't think it's all of them. I think it is a select group of them that decided to do this, yes? We cannot put all of them in the same boat because the united elementals that stand behind me and the beings are with them. This is the ultra-dimensionals, extra-dimensionals, or extraterrestrials, but I really don't believe in any of this anymore, okay? If these people, if she is a real emissary, why does she have no proof? Why have they not stood next to her? Why have they not given her a photograph, a fingerprint, a hair sample, anything? She's the emissary, for goodness sake, she claims. Well, this is why, because they can't. She cannot get the evidence, and she had to make up a lot of stuff to give herself legitimacy. And I'm not trying to pick on her directly, but this is the one that affected me the most, but there are tons of them, okay? They may not have been as good as her with this, to be able to get all this together, but this is why all the reptilians in her book are seen to be negative. It's because they're of fire. So, nature spirits are without hope of immortality, so they need to be immortalized through stories, books, and people's imaginations, thoughts. Where do thoughts go? Energy flows. This is how you're sustaining them. You're giving them immortality by immortalizing them in your book, like little Thorhan here. Or Helen Morris, whatever she is. Nature spirits are subhuman in their rational intelligence, but from their functions limited to one element, has resulted in specialized type of intelligence far ahead of man, in those lines of research particular to the element in which they exist. So like I was saying, the reptilians deal with a lot of sexuality stuff, a lot of sexuality testing, to see if you're going to be a degenerate pervert or not. Yes. Trust me, that female one that I drew in my book, that was not fun, okay? That was a really not fun experience, and I kind of failed. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of failed. Yeah, this is the wrong book. But I drew that reptilian, or the salamander spirit, in my live stream. Yeah, that was not fun. But, again, it showed me a lot about my own sexuality and stuff and what I needed to control, right? Yeah. But it says in this book about the salamanders, okay? The most common form of salamander was lizard-like in shape, a foot or more in length and visible as a glowing iridula, twisting and crawling in the midst of the fire. Another group was described as huge flaming giants in flowing robes. Okay, well, here's with the armor. So let's remember the picture with the armor. Because it says, in flowing robes protected with sheets of fiery armor. Okay? Where are you? So when you see them in the robes, this is why. This is a fire salamander thing. Okay? Again, there's corporate of Altair. And that's the 3 circles: mind, body, spirit. And what is that? Fire. Of course, it's malevolent. Malevolent, right? Because it's fire. She hates fire beings. No wonder she doesn't like me. And then look, here we have the 2 together in a pyramid. But if you put a line there, what is it? What's this one? And what's this one? What do we go over? It's water and fire combined. Mother, Father, Holy Spirit. It's all symbolic. That's all it is. Again, here's again. The 3 lines with the triangle, symbolic. All of it. They try to disguise it. Even this right here has to do with the many civilizations and many worlds. This. You'll see this a lot. I've used this in examples in my videos before. Yeah. Of all the beings. But not everybody is on the same united side. Now, when I showed you the symbol that goes like this, right? Remember, this is earth, air, fire, water, north, south, east, west, right? Then we have humans, interdimensionals so we have higher dimensionals, lower dimensionals, and subhuman creatures, which would be the elementals. This is the united. So when you see this symbol, like with Maria Orsic and different things like this. Now, even though Elena has talked about Maria Orsic, but Maria would not like Elena. Okay? That's just a fact. We don't like people who make up stories, deceive, and play games to sell books. This is a dishonor to the spirit realm. This is a dishonor to all the unseen realms and the beings there within. It's not easy, and it requires a lot of studying, and they know that you're not going to do it. So again, this is why they take advantage. So it says the terms incubus and succubus have applied indiscriminately, okay? But the incubus and succubus, however, are evil, unnatural creations, whereas elementals is a collective term for all inhabitants of the elemental essences. So you'll have the beings of the air, which have to do with intellect, thought, intelligence. The beings of fire, which have to do with passion, energy, your fight or flight, things like this. Things, they're different within fire, right? Because it's also the elements within as they are without, and probably sexuality as well, right? Earth, we have grounding, we have rest, we have stability, centering. And with water, we have emotion, communication, empathy, and intuition. So there are all of these different things that are included. Not only do they deal with their element, as in the spiritual essence of fire, but they have to do with the elements within us. That's what I was trying to get at in my videos with Max Spears, because they get at you with the elements within. They've just tried to destroy me again. But I won't stop. I'm not going to not do this. This is what it was trying to prevent me to do. Okay? But we're not going to stop. We're going to continue. It's not just Elena Danaan that's done this. Alex Collier was before her. Unfortunately, there is a certain age in which the claustrum oil, you run out of time. From my studies, it seems to be about 50. So once these people reach that, they don't have anything else other than to create stories and write books. That's as far as they go. If you reach 50 and you haven't done it yet, that determines the rest of your life. So there are beings that go astray. Everyone makes choices, right? They decide whether they're going to feed off of people or whether they're just going to live out their existence as it is and be gone when it's done. Right? It says some of them have accepted the divine creator, but some of them have not. Okay? And some of them are very angry that we have replaced them. At any time, a higher dimensional can become a lower dimensional. This is what a fallen angel is. Yeah. It says the sylphs are of the highest order. And this is why Thorhan is most likely a sylph or an undine. I can't decide whether they're water or air, but they could be a combination of both. Okay? Just for the fact, okay, she had Megan Rose with her, and then they had extraterrestrial husbands together, right? Elena has Thorhan, Megan had Valnek. And then when Megan Rose didn't want to play ball anymore, Elena and Alex Collier cut her off, okay? They said Valnek's gay and left the galaxy, but Elena always knew that, she says. So why would you even entertain that and do that to Megan? I've covered this all previously on my channel before. It says the sylphs are of the highest order, and then it would be water, which is why she's done this. Now, I had the research on my channel about the Anunnaki way back in 2022, okay? It's unfortunate that I deleted my Telegram channel as many times as I did. Again, I was being beaten in an intellectual way. The air spirits, yes? Yeah. And thinking that, I wasn't going to do any good, so I would give up. They beat me like this a lot, but it won't work anymore. So, let's see what else I've written here. Oh, right. So what do vampires do? They glamour you with all their fancy words and their, the new earth, and no one's going to be here, and they're all just going to fade away. This is glamoring. Fancy words, fantasy words. Words are spells. Spelling. So they're giving you false hope, and that is energy and food for them. It doesn't just have to be bad stuff. Oh, the comet's going to come and the aliens are going to save us all. Like a Dementor. That's what you're feeding. Because that's the only way they get to stay here. I know this is difficult. This is why the UFOs are USOs under the water. Because they are of water element. They're of water. I should use blue. Water. And if there's more than one, they might have combined with water and earth. And these groups might be working together. Okay? But normally, they don't. And you can watch a movie called Elementals, and it will explain that to you. That they all live in their separate places. But sometimes they can unite. And there are beings that have united against deception. That don't want to lie to you, okay? So yes, this is why the Greys live underground. Okay? because they are earth. All right? And again, the salamanders. Oh, Jesus. This looks like. Never mind. But anyway, it literally looks like a worm. But here, let's do some teeth, nose, eye. It looks like a crocodile. But you get it. And this is why they're with fire. A lot of people will experience lessons through them, especially if you're fucking around. And I'm not saying that it was deserved, but it's not a surprise. Because I, at one time, was hoping for the culling. And again, this was a very negative state to be in, and which most likely is what led me to being SA'd in the spiritual realm by a reptilian, as I explained to you. And it was very real. But I don't walk around thinking, oh, I've been assaulted. You know what I mean? This happens a lot. This happens a lot to people in the spirit realm. Am I saying it's right? No. But it is a fact that happens. This is a huge problem that these people have done this. And they've caused so much turmoil and confusion just for money. They are only benefiting off the backs, minds, and hearts of other people for their wallets, including Claudio Nocelli. Because he knows all of this too. He does. But he chooses to deliver it to you in the form of his Nos Confunden books. Yeah. He doesn't even speak to his fans because he relies on the power of assumption. Yeah, I know. I really liked the both of them. I really thought highly of Claudio for a very long time. Unfortunately, it's just gone. You know, if he was somebody legit, he would want somebody like him. He wouldn't be bimbo chasing, and he is bimbo chasing. Now, if you look at Michael Salla was using Elena Danaan with her alien boyfriend thing, and now he's moved on to Dr. Andrea Martin with an alien boyfriend. There's 2 other ones with an alien boyfriend. This is the agenda. There's a lot of beings that want this, but you will never actually be with them. You'll just always be feeding off of this energy. Oh, I wish I was with my soulmate. Oh, the alien Thorhan. But it's not real. Even Elena Danaan can't be with him in this physical life. When she dies, she might be, but I don't know the way that she's playing the cards now. You only get places with this if you're genuine and truthful. You'll be playing in this world to sell books and make money and help the Cabal, which is really the Kabbalah Jewish mysticism that created all of this in the first place. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this isn't what this is, but the Kabbalah Jews took all of the truth and turned it into a big deceptive lie for their benefit. That's why it's called Cabal, because it comes from Kabbalah, mystic, Judaism. If you've watched the stuff with the Claustrum oil, it's symbolic. The story of Jesus Christ is symbolic of the Claustrum's oil travel, even the 3 days of darkness. So, I don't know what else to do. This is why, not even since 2012, we haven't had any change. Because these people don't want real change. They want your change for their wallets. That's it. They're not unified. There's no community. It's all about them. Elena Danaan has thrown several fits now. With Danny Henderson now, and now Michael Salla, Elisa Herrera. She's losing all of her friends because they're realizing what she's about. She's caused a lot of problems. She stole my Anunnaki research and decided that, oh, I speak for them too. Yes, she did. It sent me into a serious mental spiral back then and held me back for a long time. It was purposeful. I know. I emailed Elisa Herrera and I told her about my story. I sent her my video. She said she sees no problem with the Asura, but she probably told Elena Danaan about me. I have the email proof, which I'm going to show you. I've tried to tell Danny Henderson this. If she ignores, well, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm literally telling you guys what it is. There aren't any aliens. I know you want there to be. I did too. And you will probably reject it because it's so difficult. But I'm telling you right now, you're being deceived. So these are energetic vampires, these beings. And they want their immortality. And it's really terrible that they've done this. If these people really cared about others, they wouldn't do this to them. They would have joined me and unified singing the same song. But they just want money. I guess if you can't beat them, join them, right? All those people are helping the cabal now. They're not fighting against them. They're helping them because nothing can stop what's coming. They know that there's a reset coming. Years ago, Corey Goode said that there's going to be a special selection when he was talking about the calling or the solar flash event. That's the event they're talking about. All of these people were bullied like I was. They're not on your side. They're on their side. They would be telling you this instead of conning you with books and stories of being a super soldier and 20 and back and Anshar and all this nonsense. And Elena Danaan thought it was funny to throw Corey Goode under the bus and laugh at him like she's not doing the exact same thing, and she is. Listen, that's a huge weakness. Love in another place? Come on, you guys. If it seems too good to be true, it is. I know. There were so many things that I wanted to be true, but these things just don't exist. But there, you can reach it, just not by going that way. You have to go within to get out of here. The only way that I figured this out, even with the Asura, remember, I thought it was an alien at one time. It's not. Not at all. If anything, it's an egregore. But it doesn't mean that the elements within didn't create it and that it didn't have the energy to manifest outside of me, because it did. But it's not an alien. That ship that I saw in 2017 was most likely the ancient humans, probably from my bloodline, that have waited for someone in the bloodline again to awaken the Claustrom's oil and to reach this higher consciousness. I'm not perfect, I literally just defeated drug addiction. I will not be going back on drugs. No one will ever be able to use that against me again. Nothing. Not even a Tylenol. I will take nothing. Yeah. So, this is what Corey Goode meant by his esoteric religion. But it's not just him. It's all of them. And if you didn't listen to that, he says he never went to outer space. It's part of his spiritual, meditative practices. This applies to all of them. This is why they didn't throw Corey Goode under the bus as hard as they should have. Because they knew that Corey told the truth. They do not want people to listen and see that court deposition where he admits it. That his books are just a creation of his spiritual stuff. The Anshar is just an avatar. It's not real. They know that there's going to be a reset. They're not worried about you because you won't be here to come for them. You see what I'm saying? This is very, very serious, and it's messing with a lot of people's lives. I wanted it to be more than anything, you guys. I don't want to be in this place. I hate this place, like this world. It's been awful to me. And that's why I'm going to finish my book, and you can read it for yourselves. But this is my last and final warning to you, that there aren't aliens. The beings that were with Peter Corey genetically match ancient humans. That's why they call them ancient aliens. They're not aliens. We just forgot about them. I've covered this in my Antediluvian series. So I'm sorry. I know this is awful and hard. And that I did not want to think this about them. I thought the world of Claudio. And you know what? I actually wrote my book and I wanted to shine the brightest I could to see if he'd see me back. He doesn't want someone like him. It's clearly ego, power, money. He wants to be, oh, look at me, I'm the alien contact. And now I'm not interested. You know? Not in anybody, actually. But that's for another day. It's not that I hate men. I just not interested. If you can't show your colors too, like a peacock, to get someone to see you, what's the point, right? I'm sorry. I know this pisses people off, and they're like, I don't want to listen to her. Okay, well, you shouldn't have been here daydreaming about wanting to be with me anyway. You know? I really did. So this thing is that they must go to these elements of love within them to create some type of relationship to generate energy so they can write their books. Yeah, because I tell you, I used my crush to write my book about, I used my crush on Claudio, and I used the power that I got from that to write my book. Yeah. But unfortunately, they're just not who I had hoped. I lost my best friend of 20 years, and I was so happy to find someone like Elena Danaan. But she's not who she says she is at all. And it's actually quite sad. I feel sorry for her now. She stole off of me. I don't hate her. I feel sorry for her because she doesn't know the Anunnaki. Not like I do. But they're going to show her. And you gonna learn. And it ain't gonna be fun, girl. Okay? So... because there are beings that are in certain groups, like they do have alliances. And unfortunately, people like me are very few who actually don't want to profit. I wanted to survive so I could be able to do something about all of this, because clearly no one else is. So yeah. But everything was free. I didn't make any money off of this. Even selling books, I didn't make any money. I don't get YouTube ads. And I asked for donations because you know what? Sometimes I run out of milk and I can't afford to take care of myself, and my CPTSD ruins my ability to get a job and keep it. But I can do this to help the world. And by sharing my story, I hope that people learn from my experience. And a lot of people took me as a joke and thought I was, nothing and to be ignored. Hold on. All right. So I'm going to just cut it right there for now. I might do a little bit more, but yeah, I don't want to discuss what almost happened. But I've saved the day in the situation, so. But the darkness, evil, is trying to destroy me so that I won't be able to help anyone. It's not a joke. The number one way they get people is for them to end themselves, one way or another. You see? Yeah. Okay. Okay, everybody. Please heed my warning, because I really don't want you to experience the same kind of pain that I did about this. The sooner you realize, the less time you waste on it, the less it will hurt. Okay? Take care. And I will, it's 1:44. But that again, that has to do with the Claustrom's oil. Yeah. I will try to finish this video. Take care. Alrighty, so here we have what we're going to be talking about today, the triangle symbol on the chest, which is something that is very, very common. Says the phenomenon of UFO sightings has been subject of intrigue and debate for decades. One recurring detail in many UFO sightings is the presence of a triangular symbol or shape on the chest of the alleged extraterrestrial beings. One of the earliest examples of this phenomenon dates back to the 1960s, when two Italian men claimed to have encountered an extraterrestrial being with a triangular symbol on its chest. According to their account, the men were driving on a deserted road when they saw a strange object in the sky. As they got closer, they saw a humanoid figure standing next to the craft wearing a shiny metallic suit. The figure had a triangular symbol on its chest and communicated with the men telepathically. Again, the triangular symbol is going to be either earth, air, fire, or water, and they communicate telepathically because they are beings of the unseen realm. Okay? The being reportedly told the men it was from a planet called Clarion, and it had come to Earth to study our civilization, which isn't true. Another UFO encounter that involved a triangular symbol, and a lot of the times these beings will just say stuff. They will, because they can't tell you the truth. That is interference. Another UFO encounter involved a triangular symbol on their chest of an extraterrestrial being that took place in Belgium, 1989 to 1990. During the periods, hundreds of people reported seeing a triangular-shaped craft in the skies above their city. Several witnesses claimed to have seen beings with triangle symbols on their chests walking out of the craft. One witness, a police officer named Patrick Farron, reported that he had seen a craft hovering over a field with three humanoid figures standing next to it. The figures had triangular symbols on their chest and communicated with Farron telepathically. So one thing I forgot to mention about the beings of fire is that sometimes they are known to be in orbs, red glowing orbs that go around fields and different things like this, or sometimes the orbs are white and they will stand out. Again, these are earth and beings of fire. Okay? So I just wanted to share this webpage with you. It will be linked below with all these encounters and how you can read this for yourself, okay? But this is a huge part of it. Just give me a second. Okay, so here we have fire, water, earth, and air. Okay, so here we have fire with the symbols of fire with the squiggly lines, water, squiggly lines. Again, we have the upside down triangle, upright triangle. Then for earth, we have the upside down triangle with the line in it, and then air, upright triangle with a line in the center. But again, you may have three lines of air with that triangle that was downward like this, because they might be earth and air working together. You see? So that's what that symbol symbolized. I don't know if I'm going to put this in the beginning or the end. Probably the end now because it won't make sense in the beginning, but then people may not see this. What to do? I don't know, but if this is in the beginning, stay tuned because we are going to get into this right after this. Take care. Hi everyone, it's me. This is my email to Elisa Herrera on January 6, 2022, and by summer of 2022, Elena Danaan was on about the Anunnaki. So, I said, I hope this email finds you well. My name is Lacey. I'm living in Canada. I'm 36. I've identified as a starseed for a very long time now, and I'm not sure how to feel. Long story short, I've had some experiences, but I was hoping you could review this for me because I realized I was more than likely under some heavy manipulations or something from these dimensional entities. I rewatched your interview with Suchita, and I knew I had to reach out for help. I don't even remember who that is. Anyway, this has been going on all my life, and I am, as of right now, in rough shape. I have CPTSD from childhood abuse, and my life hasn't been easy. I have some drawings and old videos I recorded. I was hoping you could review them. This has deeply affected me, my life, and my overall well-being. I saw a being of unknown origin. When I recorded these, I had no idea what was going on. I'm a bit more now. Okay, so yeah, with the satanic ritual abuse thing, I associated this with something that was totally different. And I had experienced my SA in the spiritual realm at that point. So I kind of thought that I was being targeted in a way by demonic entities or something, but I didn't know how or what to call it. So I apologize because I definitely don't resonate with this anymore. But I do understand what I was talking about because it was like, sexual energy type of stuff, but I just didn't understand what was going on. So anyway, I was like, I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want to keep all this to myself. The isolation is what they want, which is absolutely still true, and why I've been completely ignored and, oh my God, just treated like garbage. And I don't know. I don't know if I was on the wrong side or not. I thought these beings were my friends. Of course, I was kind of terrified of the Asura at this point. And then because I was really nervous to message this lady, to be honest with you. I was really, really scared to reach out. And I was like, I just feel better that I even had the courage to talk to you. Thank you for listening. Blessings and take care. And then I sent her all this. Okay. My painting, my drawings, and all of this stuff. So then by July of 2022, Elena Danaan was on the Anunnaki stuff. So by January 10th, okay, she got back to me, 12:34 a.m. Hi, Lacey. Thank you for the info. I'll try to look at the last 2 videos tomorrow, but from what I've seen so far, I feel like I'm missing something of why you can't trust these beings. Oh, man. So no wonder Elena Danaan took advantage of her if she didn't know what she was dealing with when it comes to the Asura. Okay? Because they're here to bring down the whole fucking kingdom. Clearly. And rightly so. I told her not to fuck with the Anunnaki. She should have listened. Not Elisa, Elena. And so now Elisa and Elena are not friends anymore. But this is her. Elisa Herrera, Life Transformation Activator, QAHT Level 2 Introspective Hypnosis, Psych K Practitioner, 9th Dimensional Palladian Collective Healer. Okay? So I don't lie and I don't make stuff up, but I definitely have made mistakes about like this part here. Okay, because I didn't actually know, like with all that reptilian stuff, I didn't know what that was, and I thought they were targeting me, like demons were targeting me to ritually abuse me in that sense, okay? Alrighty, thank you very much for listening. That's it. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to show you the reason why I do not believe whatsoever that Claudio Nocelli knows any kind of extraterrestrial or Helen Morris. Because if he did, he would not be chasing women like this. This is his wrestler buddy, likes wrestling, and these are the type of women he likes. And I am not jealous of them, okay? I'm just saying that if he had a higher consciousness and he was some type of extraterrestrial contact, that he would not be going after. Look at this woman, always naked, and they're all like that, with their ass out or they're naked. Higher consciousness people don't go after this. Women that are half naked on Instagram, constantly with their ass out, constantly with their ass and titties out. Okay? This is not how it works. So I just want to show you guys that these are the women that he follows. I'm not jealous of them. I'm disgusted. Okay? It's absolutely disgusting because he makes himself seem like he's some type of alien, extraterrestrial, over the ice wall, superhero guy, and he's not. He's just some guy writing books and looking for pussy. Okay? So here we have it, folks. Naked ladies on Instagram. Have a nice day.